Hey there, welcome to another episode of Your Cochrane Right Now. This is a weekly podcast all about the best town in the world, Cochrane, Alberta. My name's Eric Ruddle, joined by the one and only Lauren Meister. And Lauren, it's finally coming down. So the Ramada, they're tearing it down.
Yeah, quite a spectacle, actually.
What side do you land on this? Because when we posted it up on social media, there was a lot of, oh, cool, they're bringing it down. A lot of, this is really sad.
Yeah.
Are you feeling sad? Are you feeling...
Well, not so much sad because it already burnt down
a
couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So it's we already know that it burnt down. Don't we want it to come down completely and rebuild and let's have a new fresh hotel and get, just a fresh start.
And maybe this sounds like a jerk way of saying it, but tearing down a hotel is pretty darn cool.
Well, that's right? It's cool
pretty
to see.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just hundreds of rooms getting ripped into, and watching the video, they didn't take out all the stuff, right? There's chairs, there's pictures up, and
mattresses.
They're just shredding them.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I'm sorry. It's cool.
Exactly. So Noel actually went down there. We have a meeting every single day at 9:30,
yes.
And it was 5 minutes before 9:30. And
Where's Noel?
All of a sudden, he was calling me, and I was like, oh, maybe he's going to be late. So I was like, why is Noel calling? And anyway, he's like, sorry. He's like, I've gotta hang out here at the Ramada. They're tearing it down right now. There's big machinery here. There's excavators and all these big, huge, heavy equipment. They're literally tearing this whole thing down, and people were lined up from a safe distance.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah. People probably skipped work and skipped school.
Bring
and
your kids down, set up some bleachers.
Well, you got to think of how many little boys and and big boys,
probably, and little girls, Lauren.
Exactly. Not to discriminate. Yes. Probably really like watching all of that big equipment.
Oh yeah, tearing stuff down, and like we said, how often do you get to see a huge building like the Ramada get torn down?
Yeah.
We don't know if they're building a new one, if they're tearing out the foundation. We talked to the owners a couple months ago, and they were very hopeful.
Yeah.
Obviously, they need insurance money, but tearing down costs money. So that usually means there's something coming in.
Yeah, I would imagine something will be happening.
Yeah.
But obviously you can't just leave this building that was kind of smushy from the top. You can't just leave it sitting there. But it had an awesome water slide. So that would have been kind of was that damaged too?
That would have been the cool part of what. Was the pool still full?
I don't know. The water in the pool. I don't know. All these things.
Yeah.
We should have headed down there. I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see if they throw in our hotel, because Cochrane now we're pretty low. We're down to 2,
3. Because I think there's 3 along that street.
Yes.
So.
But we have so many tournaments, so many people who just want to come and hang out. Our town's awesome, right? And I've heard from people before who, if it's busy season, summer season, they can't get a room.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, you
so
have to
now
stay in
we're
the city
down
or whatever.
Maybe the biggest hotel in town. You got to imagine they're wanting to build one. Greystone mentioned they want to build one.
Yeah.
And we need more water slides.
I think we should all just open up bed and breakfasts in our homes or something.
Right here at CochraneNow. We got a basement that we don't really use. It's
100%. Just get the mattress down there. Why not?
Yeah. And earlier this week, or was it Friday? So it was Friday. It's April Fool's Day. And a lot of pressure was on me because my Disneyland joke last year did gangbusters. Over 1 million views in 24 hours. Oh. So for the last year, I am not joking. Everybody has been asking me, not even just here at the station, how are you following up? That's a lot of pressure.
I believe it. Well, and still to this day, we've talked about your Disneyland joke from last year, because still to this day, it's sometimes our biggest story during the week. We sometimes get, depending on the week, but well over 1,000 to 2,000 clicks a week.
And that's going to be my journalistic legend, right? Right, it's nice stories all the time. No, your joke. So anyway, April Fool's Day, Friday.
Yeah, how do you top that?
How do you top it? And I went into it thinking I can't top it, right? You can't go in striking lightning twice.
Yeah.
So...
Well, unless you're the Ramada.
Exactly. Anyway, so I jumped with 2 different ideas. The one idea that I thought maybe people would get mad at was Cochrane is officially a city. I was going to edit the sign, put it up there, and then I was like, "Ooh, people might be mad."
Yeah, I feel like the town of Cochrane may not have liked that one.
Calls. So we went the entertainment route. Yellowstone starting to shoot here in Cochrane. And I'd say it was successful.
Oh, 100%. The thing is about that one is that is believable.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like you can actually see that being something that could happen.
Like Candace Davies ran into one of the actors there at the venue a couple of months ago.
Chief Rainwater.
Yeah, maybe he was chilling here. The ridiculous part was, and I know not everybody would have clicked on the story because I photoshopped a really bad picture of Kevin Costner sitting by the chicken lady. But in the story, it said like, in the story of Yellowstone, they were coming to town to take over the Egg Society.
Yeah.
And I think it did really well. I loved the messages I was getting just personally of people being like, I was so excited.
Yeah.
And I had a business reach out saying, hey, do you have insider contact? Because I'm a massage artist and I want to help them. It's like, I am so sorry.
We actually had one lady from, I believe she was from Montana, and was asking us where Cochrane was located. So, and at first I didn't kind of catch on. I was like, we're just like 20 minutes northwest of Calgary, and blah, blah, blah. And then anyway, she kind of kept on asking a few more questions. And eventually she was like, so is Yellowstone actually filming in Cochrane? And this was like 3 days after the fact. I was like, did you not read the story? At the bottom it says, haha, like April Fool's joke, right? And anyway, I was like, no, it's just a joke, but you should still come to Cochrane. Like, we're a great town. But.
And it was all just made when I saw a comment on one of the shares. CochraneNow is notorious for this. I was like, yes, that is what we should be known for as a news outlet. A joke that took me 20 minutes.
I'm sure Noel appreciated that.
Exactly. So that was lots of fun. Yellowstone not coming to town quite yet. It could.
It could happen. Maybe season 6.
Maybe. You never know. We are kind of like Hollywood 2.0.
I think so.
And speaking of Hollywood, we have a really cool actor who grew up right here in town, and Noel actually got to catch up with him, Rowan Campbell. Yeah. And he's part of the YTV show, The Hardy Boys.
That is really cool.
That is a household name, right? If I went to somebody who doesn't even own a TV and I'm like, hey, there's a Hardy Boys TV show, and there's a Cochrane kid in it. That's incredible.
It is really cool. So I've never actually read the Hardy Boys books.
What? Babysitter Club?
Yes. I read that. Yeah, but I'm familiar with the book series and like the detectives and whatnot. But Noel actually, his son grew up with this book with Rowan. Yeah. I had to think about his name there for a second. But so Noel's actually like watched him essentially grow up. So he's seen him as a teenager and he's chatted with him. He's interviewed him a couple times before. And it was kind of cool watching the interview. And Rowan actually talked a little bit about growing up in Cochrane, hanging out at the Bow River and just like being a kid right here in town. So it's kind of cool.
One of my favorite stories Noel was telling me was him and his son were friends, right? So Noel actually interviewed Rowan, but didn't out that he was Luke's father.
Right.
So Rowan came over to his house, and Noel told his son, don't tell him that where I work and all that stuff. Let's just keep it casual. So they're just hanging out, and Rowan was looking at Noel and was like, he connected the voice. He was like, did you just interview me over the phone? So it's just, that is so cool, and it's so incredible seeing an actor of that caliber just coming out of Cochrane.
Yeah,
right?
It's very cool.
Yeah, so that's really awesome, and I believe it just started season 2.
Yes, so just kicking off this week.
And Wayfinders Wellness Ranch, it was just outside of Cochrane, like northwest, I would say, is a really cool project. It's all about PTSD management for first responders.
Yeah,
right?
And military.
A nice,
and
calm area they can go do some really cool stuff and just get back to nature. And Home Treasures was like, hey, you need a couple of bucks? Let's reach in. Here's $23,000.
It's just incredible. Yeah, the amount of money that Home Treasures is able to donate to different organizations in town.
Gosh.
It's mind-boggling.
It's just, it'd be impressive if they were like, oh, here's $500.
Yeah.
23 grand.
It's insane. Yeah.
Good on them.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. And of course, you and I, we spent an entire day over at Wayfinders close to 2 years ago now.
Yeah, right. And it's like birth,
It
right?
was,
They
yeah,
were
it was
just
right at
starting.
the beginning. Yeah, we did a radiothon there and helped them kind of kick things off. So this money is actually going to help for programming. So it's going to help so many people suffering from PTSD and other things, but as well as their family members as well. So huge difference for so many.
Yeah, and it is such an incredible space. Like even thinking back to Yellowstone, that is kind of how it feels out there.
Yeah.
It's just open. When we were there was a lot of people who were really passionate about the place, telling stories, playing music, and it's just like, man, having this just outside of Cochrane yet again just makes us the coolest place ever.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to Home Treasures, $23,000.
Yeah,
and
crazy.
I'm sure we'll see another huge check being handed out next week because that's just what they do.
Yeah.
That's just what they do. And that is everything going on in Cochrane right now. This podcast is available every single week on your favorite podcast services. And I'll catch you again next week.
You betcha.